we have any questions
I
on the minutes?
just have one thing. The fall giveaway is in September. Okay,
Okay.
for the Friends.
Okay, the
The fuel
gas, the fuel,
Yeah.
gas,
raffle is in
yeah,
September.
in September. Okay. They'll see that in our newsletter
Right.
anyway,
Yes,
when we're
yep.
having it, yes, okay. And you're going to be meeting with the selectmen?
Next Tuesday.
Next
Yep,
Tuesday.
Tuesday coming up, yep.
Okay. Okay, do we have any more questions on the minutes? Do you have a motion to accept them?
Second?
Second. Okay, it's unanimous. We'll go to Michelle, you'll read the director's report,
Sure.
and then we'll go after that to the schedule for
Yes.
August.
Yep.
Okay.
First thing I want to start out by saying is that there is a free concert at the bandstand here at the Town Green, right here on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, 1 to 3. They're called the Skeletones, and they're a big band, and they're performing some New Orleans music. So it's quite a big band, quite a few players there. Little blues, little jazz, little Latin. So please come on out and support that, because that is a cultural council grant.
What time is it?
It's this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on the Town Green. So hopefully everybody can come out to that.
I think they encourage people to bring their own chairs if
Yes,
possible.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, absolutely. So
Nice.
come on out and enjoy that. We recently had some concerns over the air conditioning in the exercise room. And even though I was tinkering with it, I thought I was turning it on. In fact, I was turning it on, and it just was not working. So after the last class that we had last week, there was a leak in the hallway. And thank goodness somebody noticed that. Actually, Tim had noticed that and called me down. And it was running down the side of the wall. The air conditioner had kaput, had took a little break. And the water came out of the side and then in the attic and then down the wall. So I called the people. They came, they fixed it, replaced all of the filters. And then Tim went through yesterday and cleaned out all of our air vents because they were pretty dirty. In all honesty, I've never cleaned them out. So he went and vacuumed them all. We shouldn't have a problem. There is a drip tray that's there, but of course it didn't break where the drip tray is supposed to be. Like here's the drip tray, and then here's the leak.
Yeah.
2 feet from it.
Missed it?
Yeah, just missed that. So everything is up and running, should be fine now. If anybody is cold or hot or whatever in the exercise class, you can come and get me, and I can adjust it. Now it should work. And we tested it, and it's up and down. And so if ever, anytime you're uncomfortable, let me know prior or during so that you don't pass out or anything during the class. I do have box fans. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, but at least this time I would know that there's actually a problem upstairs, because the rest of the building was working fine.
It worked yesterday.
Yeah.
It was freezing.
Yeah.
I was
It's a
freezing.
bit-
They weren't.
You're right.
I'm not talking about.
It's so funny. It's feast or famine. I can never find the perfect temperature.
Well, like people.
Absolutely.
you
And
know,
many years
know I'm gonna
ago,
be
Yeah.
cold If the rest of them are comfortable.
right, many years ago, we had agreed as a board to leave it at 73, because that was seemingly a comfortable, all year round, seemingly comfortable. So, but for exercise in that back room, it's a little warm because it goes up, but it should stay down now at 73, but you never know. So.
You know, that particular day, kind of halfway through, it did get like a little warm, but there were many in the room. But I wouldn't say it was unbearably warm, any threat anybody was
I'm not a
going
good judge. So
Right.
anybody
Right.
was going to pass out. But it did get a little
Yeah.
warm, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it's rectified now,
Yeah,
so it's fine.
it
But
should be
actually,
good.
it's not the room, it's the people getting warm.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that
that's
wa-
what I'm saying.
that was-
There are some people that are a lot
Yeah.
hotter than others.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a little
It's
bit
too-
of it, but I wouldn't say it was just so unbearable that we had to cancel or anything.
Well, the
It
thing
wasn't
of it
like
is,
that.
if it's that unbearable, people should just leave.
I agree.
I mean,
I
I
hope they
agree.
have some water with them.
Yeah, they do.
yeah,
Okay,
we all
all
have
right.
water.
We
Okay,
all do.
good, good,
Everybody
good. And I know
does.
she gives like a break. Does she gives a break in between?
Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
Very
yes.
short break.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
The people that go outside can't make it back.
Right. Better get.
But it was
All right,
fine.
well,
And
good.
it is now. Good.
Good, good, good. So our good friend Ron, who's been volunteering, he has been very busy, but he did come down and meet with me the other day. He'll be there tomorrow, and he's going to clean out our flower gardens, tidy them up, weed them down into little spots, take out all of the old mulch, make it flat so it's not mounds and mounds of mulch. And he's going to have that all nicey nice for us. After this cleaning and clearing, I really need a volunteer with a green thumb to continue to keep up the gardens. So certainly I'm throwing it out there to anybody who has a green thumb who can work, volunteer in doing the flower beds at the senior center. And it's really just the front and side of the building. It's not a terrible amount, but I do need a volunteer for that.
You know, maybe you could put it in the newsletter, upcoming newsletter, kind of like a wanted volunteer,
Yes.
something
Yes.
kind of cutesy, maybe on
Yeah,
the front
right.
page somewhere if you could fit it
Yeah.
in. And even
Flower power.
Right. I know. Oh, very good. Oh,
and
very
if
good.
somebody, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone reading it. They might have a relative who say, "Oh, they're looking for something to do." So at least
Right.
it gets the word out.
Right.
There.
Yep.
Good idea.
Absolutely.
idea.
Absolutely.
By the way, Ron did a beautiful job on that veterans garden.
Oh, isn't it
Really,
beautiful?
it is beautiful.
No weeds, no
Oh,
nothing.
it's-
It's
yeah.
very, very
And
nice.
he has a light on that stone. That stone is gorgeous.
Yes.
And it's a solar light, I believe.
Yeah, yep.
Beautiful.
See, I don't know if you're ever out and about at night, but
I'm not, yeah. but
spin on by because that looks really nice.
Sure.
Yep.
Keeps
In
it
fact, I've had a
wonderful.
couple of the Sutton PD who are down there at night send me a little picture saying that looks beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty nice.
nice.
I want to thank Tim for getting Al's rubbish container and dumping all of the junk that was in the pod, that was in the shed. You can now get in there and out of there, and it's nice and clean. And so thanks for that and cleaning our vents out. That was a big help. I'm not going to dig through that pod for all that stuff. And he dealt with all the bugs, so that was good. 8 people have used our center for our cooling station these past few weeks. 8 people that would normally not come in. So they came in, they stayed for a couple of hours to cool down. They either played on the computer or they read some books or they brought their own stuff. One woman brought some knitting and she sat in the computer room and she did some knitting. So it was nice to see people come out and use that. If you want to go to turn the page, I'll go back to the outreach report when we do that, but you want to turn the page. Still pretty quiet because all of our classes are still on break. I will tell you 2 things that have to change just for this month. On the 13th, I need to cancel darts at 12:30 because Worcester County Fuel Assistance is here to do reapplications for fuel assistance. That is the only day they can come. I cannot change that. I know people get upset with me when I have to cancel things, but I have no control over Worcester County Fuel Assistance, and that is more important than darts.
Can't they
hate
do
to
it
say-
another day?
No. Nope.
No, not
Darts.
them.
Oh, darts. They probably could. They probably
What I
could.
mean, if they're upset, can't they
Yes,
get
yes.
back to the
I,
Thursday?
I throw it out there. We'll see.
You know
I've
what I'm
thrown
saying?
it out there,
If
but I
they're
get-
upset,
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
It's only
available
Yeah.
Yes.
any other day.
Yeah, you can go any other day. I feel bad about it, but you know.
It's
there's
only
so
for
much I can
one
do.
day. It's only
so
for
much I
one
can do.
day, and you cancel it when we cancel everything in that room for chain of
right.
light. So I
Right.
mean,
No, what I'm saying
Yes.
is,
I
it's
understand.
an easy fix.
Yes. Yeah. You
understand.
would think.
Well,
On the
to me, it's an easy fix.
On the 15th, there's no book club for the month of August. They're taking an August break, so no book club. On the 21st, we have an outing for Breezy Acres. It is the water park in Douglas with the water slides. However, unless you want to go on the water slides, that's up to you. But but they have a nice beach area and a pavilion and a nice grassy section, and they're going to save the pavilion for us. If you want to come swimming, you want to bring your grandkids, you just want to come by yourself, there will be food and just a nice outing there for the day at Breezy Acres. So we're going to do a little carpooling from the center. And also, depending on how many people sign up, I would consider getting Elder Bus to and fro. However, I say however, that's a long period of time, so I'm not sure if somebody would be too hot or wouldn't want to stay the entire time. So I would suggest that you bring your own vehicle. So that will be suggested.
Excuse me, Breezy Acres, is that the one down on 98 down?
Yes. No.
It's not on 98.
No.
The
On
back
96.
row,
96.
King's Campground, on the on Douglas Reservoir.
Okay.
On the food, is it a concession stand or is it free? I mean, or they
It
bring
is,
their lunch?
there is a
or-
concession stand, and I'm working out something with them, so it'll only be, they'll give us a voucher for whatever we want there. So we're working out the details on the food, but there'll be a voucher that you can use
So
towards.
they won't have to pay? the
No,
voucher,
oh, no,
yeah.
no, no, no.
Nice,
No.
very nice.
So.
And the sign-up sheet, obviously, will be at the center.
Yes, yep,
Call
yep.
in. Okay.
Yep. That is pretty much all I have for that.
That's fine. Anybody have any more questions or any discussion?
Had one. You're gonna meet with the selectmen? What are you going to,
So our last meeting, Wally Baker had mentioned that, and this is a huge issue that's in front of us, is transportation and housing for seniors, affordable housing. So everybody's trying to tackle that issue right now. So we're going to present, because he's also on the planning board, and Wally and I are part of a committee that's looking into affordable housing for seniors, and quite frankly, anybody, but primarily seniors here in Sutton, so that you can continue, hopefully, to stay in your hometown if you need to sell your house or whatnot. So that's what we're looking into. There's a lot of stuff that you'll see in the works, but we're going to present to them how many seniors we have in town, how much growth we've had over the past 14 years that I've been here, and you can only see that it's going up. Seniors will actually be more than kids in the town. So we're going to do a presentation so that they know going forward that it's something they're going to have to understand, that you need housing and you need transportation, more transportation.
Do you happen to know, of course you haven't met with them yet, if there's any talks for, somewhere in the future, another section of like, housing for the elderly, subsidized housing? Because we spoke about it last month too.
Yes.
I mean, for the size of town and the number of seniors, we only have one area,
Right.
the Orchard Apartments.
Yes.
And,
That's something we'll be bringing up.
yeah.
There's a lot of need for it. We get a lot of phone calls, and I hate to see sending people who live in town to other towns to live, number one. And number two, everybody that has affordable housing in the area, or subsidized housing, they have a waiting list of
Very much so,
years at this
yes,
point.
yeah.
So,
So,
Yeah, the thing is, they need to find some land where they can do this.
yes. Yeah. I just need, they're getting older, we're getting older. They need to think about these things going forward when they're doing planning.
yeah.
I'm assuming.
At least it starts having some dialogue about
Yes.
the
Yep.
need, and maybe
Yep.
then they'll proceed with
Yeah.
trying to
Just
find the land.
Keep
trying
it in
to
their,
get-
in their head
Yeah.
as they're doing stuff. So, yeah, yep. So that's what we'll be discussing on Tuesday at 7.
Good. Okay, do we have anything else?
Yes, on the budget, under the Telegram Gazette, $611 That's a lot of money. I think a call to them.
Now, that was at the beginning of the
asking
year.
for a discount.
Yes, and we did that. So that was at the beginning of last year, we paid that. And now we don't get the Sunday paper, so that took a huge amount off. We were getting the Sunday paper. They gave us a $100 discount, and then they gave us a couple of other discounts along the way because our newspaper wasn't getting delivered. Remember, we had a stretch of time where nobody on the street was really getting their newspaper. So yes, when you see that next, when we,
It's gonna be lower.
oh God, much lower,
Well,
because there's no more Sunday
I
paper.
did it and I
Yes.
just said it was too much money and they
Yes,
lowered
and they're
me.
willing to lower that if you,
Me too.
yes,
Yeah.
yep.
I mean,
But that Sunday paper is very,
worth the call.
yes, it's very costly, the Sunday paper, yep.
And also, I know we're transporting people now.
Yes, yep.
Okay, and so I noticed that the person that's transporting is getting paid weekly, apparently.
There has been quite, yes, and along with
So
Jim,
is it an on-call job or what?
it is an on-call job, and we can produce the paperwork and the people, well, I wouldn't want to show you the people because that's kind of a private
I
thing.
wouldn't want to see the.
Right,
Yeah.
but he does get paid to take those people now. Yep.
Okay, and it's, so
And
it's
it's not
just on call?
it's just on call. No, just on call. Nope, just on call. Not paid to be there during the week, just on call.
And it's on the COA budget?
Correct.
His wages?
Yep, it's under contracted services. I had a discussion with town administrator about that, so,
Oh, I'm sure he approved. it,
yes,
yeah.
yep.
And the
Yeah, but
town,
where did it come out of during this budget?
Contracted services, it should be under that, yes.
Because.
'Cause it can't come out of-
We didn't have that much.
Yes.
Last year, though, for contracted services.
Correct.
Am I
It-
correct?
You are correct. So next year, going forward, he put some extra money in there for transportation, so.
and again, that on-call, that's really for,
That's just
really
emergencies.
especially- maybe possibly like cancer treatments.
That is cancer treatments, that is people
Not-
getting needles in the eye.
Yeah.
There are 3 people right now that go and have eye surgeries,
Yeah,
and
you
they
just-
end up waiting hours on end
right.
while they're there.
Yeah,
So-
so he's waiting with them.
Yes,
So he's
Yeah.
getting paid while he waits.
yep,
Okay.
yep. He
Yeah,
helps
but
them
I-
in,
I
he
mean,
helps them out,
And which would be logical.
right.
It would.
I
Yep.
just asking the question.
Yep, yeah,
That's very
absolutely.
good. Yeah, and if, as long as people understand, I mean, it's not just to be a ride to go grocery
No,
shopping or
no, we don't
something.
do grocery
But that's,
shopping.
that's a good,
Although
that's a good-
everybody's asking for that.
that's a good thing
Elderbus
to have.
does offer grocery shopping. They offer trips to CVS or the pharmacy. They'll take you to Christmas tree shops. They go out that way. So if you look at their schedule, the schedule is down at the center on the board. You can see the special trips that they have coming up for shopping. But they're there for shopping. The rest of the people, unfortunately, are very early in the morning for chemotherapy.
Right,
So.
very good. Is there anything else on the budget, on the treasurer's report? No? We'll move to the Friends report. Gail?
Well, it's a little slow. We're getting prepared for September, which is when we have our gas raffle. And we have 10 people that are 10 people will be receiving a gas raffle prize of approximately $50 per person. And that will start at the beginning, it will be called at the end of September. And then after that, we'll be working on probably the chain of lights coming up in the fall, or early winter. Right.
I think maybe we can start mentioning too that chain of lights, the time is going to be 10 o'clock? Is that what it's gonna be? Because we
Right,
want,
because
we
the rest
wanted
of the
to-
town,
Right,
rest of the
yeah.
town has it at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we used to start previously started at 9.
Yep.
9 a.m. It just,
And
it
sold out by
evolved.
10.
Right.
Last year
That's 'cause
it
you're
did.
popular.
That's because our product is good. I know. But anyway, we are going to
I just want to
go.
warn the people.
Well, we're going to
Whatever
start.
time you start,
Yeah.
you better get there.
That's true, but we're going more with the rules of the chain of lights, where it'll be 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we'll say, it'll be in the newsletter, but it's
Yes.
kind of good to get the word out, so
And they'll be
people
there
will
at
know.
9:30.
That's okay.
No,
they
even at the
I
churches.
understand.
Yes,
And
yeah.
they can
They're
come in the
there at
building.
9:30.
Yeah, that's
We
fine,
know the system.
right. Okay, is there anything else?
I'll just quickly tell you about the outreach report. So if you go, switch over to the director's report. There's, on the bottom, outreach. Our good friend Clark is back in action, so he is there every day this week. He's taking a little respite, but he is back to work, and it's wonderful, wonderful to have him home.
It is.
So he's doing well. These are the best numbers that I can do during the time that I was taking calls for him. So I can tally about 14 men needing assistance, 21 women. I took 37 calls. I did 1 fuel assistance application. I didn't do anything with food stamps. I did 2 home visits, no veterans issues, and there were 32 Council on Aging rides. So Clark and Tim are working together because so many people are on chemotherapy and with eye problems, and there's some confidentiality that only the men want to talk about with each other. So so Clark has taken over scheduling and working with that situation. So
Those 32 rides are the ones that Tim did?
Yes.
In the vehicle?
yes, yep, it gets quite a bit of use, which is wonderful to see because that's what it was there for. Because Elder Bus
Absolutely.
doesn't take you to chemotherapy or dialysis at 7 o'clock in the morning when you can get it done. And when you're older and you're on one of these things,
Absolutely.
if something happens later in the day, you have time to get back or be seen again. Whereas if they change their time, being older, and you change your time for chemotherapy,
Nobody's there.
nobody's there if there's a problem later on. Then you're in the emergency room or at urgent care. So why do exactly? So why do that to somebody? If your appointment's at 7, we'll get you there at 7, and that's a blessing. A blessing.
I was just going to say, what a relief to these people that are
Absolutely.
getting the ride. I mean, it's a challenge
Absolutely.
enough when you have need dialysis.
If you want,
or
come on
cancer
into my
treatment.
office. Absolutely come in the office. I have put on my bulletin board thank you note after thank you note after thank you note for this opportunity.
Sure.
So,
I'm sure. Wonderful. And thank you to the town, too,
yes.
for
Oh, my
providing the
goodness.
car.
Absolutely.
and-
A huge
and-
thanks to Jim Smith for that. That's a big thing, and we've needed that for a long time. So,
That's for sure. All right. Do we have anything else? Anybody have any questions, any discussions, anything they want to ask Gail or Michelle?
Only Gail or Michelle?
Well, I mean, Gail,
She's
Gail,
gonna-
Are you trying to
Gail for
avoid
the
the question?
friends. Well, they can ask you if they have,
You can
a-
ask
if we,
Rosemary.
right.
if we have a question for Ginny.
Go to
I
my-
don't
stand
think
up.
you want the answer.
Probably not. We will close the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, meeting closed at 9:26.